The year was 2013. I remember playing Mists of Pandaria and Siege of Orgrimmar being released. Many of us watched top streamers taking the fight to Garrosh Hellscream, awaiting the end scene of the raid. A big conversation at this time was who was going to be Warchief after Hellscream. I remember watching the ending cinematic and got immediate goosebumps during the scene where Vol'jin tells Thrall,
"The Horde needs its true Warchief, now more than ever."
Yes, but it was you that held the Horde together during this madness. It was you that protected our honor. From this day forward, Vol'jin, if you lead, I will follow.
I am not worthy.
We got, in my opinion, one of my favorite moments in Warcraft lore. Vol'jin, who protected the Horde's honor and saved the Horde, now led it. It felt like such a momentous occasion. I was so excited to see the direction he would take the faction in. While I enjoyed Garrosh as a character and found him incredibly interesting, Vol'jin was my favorite leader within the Horde, and felt like he had an arc that started in Cataclysm when he threatened Garrosh. We now were left with one of the greatest cliffhangers in Warcraft history. Where would Garrosh go, and what would Vol'jin do now as leader of the Horde? Sylvanas was already saying she was going to test him at the end of the raid. The Horde was in one of the most interesting positions that it's ever been in.
Our bond is iron. Our will unbreakable. Who will stand against us?
In Warlords of Draenor, I was incredibly disappointed that Vol'jin didn't receive much screen time, but I also understood this as we were in an alternate dimension. At the very least, we did receive some factions named after him, as well as the town in Tanan Jungle. This was great, and he did show up at the end of the campaign at the very least. This was very safe for the time being, but I wanted to know the new direction we were going to get for his character. Fast forward to World of Warcraft Legion, where I believe we received one of the most damaging moments in this game's lore. The Broken Shore has me feel such mixed emotions. On one hand, I love what it does for Varian Wrynn and the Alliance, but on the other hand, it disrespects my favorite Horde leader in a way that I'm not comfortable with. One of the worst aspects of this is found within the gameplay scenario. For the first 2 or 3 stages of it, we see Vol'jin acting like a leader, the true Warchief of the Horde. It's so badass, and one of my favorite lines is when Thrall calls him Warchief.
It is good to fight with you again, Warchief.
Ain't never gonna get used to you calling me that.
It was great, and exactly what I think many fans wanted to see from the character. The worst part of this scenario is when Sylvanas starts taking charge near the end of it and already acting like she was made Warchief before she actually was later on.
Sylvanas, thank you.
Good luck, Varian.
And you.
Pull Bane back to my position! Close ranks!
There are too many of them.
Everyone, pull back to me! We make our stand here!
If the writers planned on killing Vol'jin here, at least give him a chance to shine. Vol'jin in the cinematic gets stabbed by an unknown Felguard, which ultimately leads to his death in the cinematic, following after the Horde retreats. Vol'jin then receives whispers from Muzala, who tells him to make Sylvanas Warchief, unknown that this was a terrible choice at the time. Legion is one of my favorite story arcs in WoW. I love so much about it, but I believe this is a huge stain on that storyline. Also, for those who don't know, in the alpha, Vol'jin originally went into hiding and faked his death after the Broken Shore. I would have actually been okay with this. Given that we received Battle for Azeroth and Shadowlands, there were ways to keep Vol'jin alive, and, well, for both expansions in my opinion. If the issue was that Vol'jin wanted peace with the Alliance, then we should have had Sylvanas challenge his leadership in the Broken Shore, leading to people wanting her to lead the Horde against the Legion, and give Vol'jin more time to grow as a leader. We could have received a scene where Vol'jin wants to stay and help the Alliance, but Sylvanas orders a retreat similar to the one that we got. This could have caused tension between the two, and his death cinematic could have been her challenging his leadership methods in front of the entire Horde, garnering more support in an incredibly dark time for Azeroth. We would have also received the same tensions built up after the current cinematic, with no change in mind. This also could have essentially given us the same Battle for Azeroth and Shadowlands plot, with Vol'jin as the leader of the Darkspear tribe when the Horde decides to switch to a council. Vol'jin could have even helped spearhead this effort. No pun intended there.
Peace with the Alliance. Never mind.
We also could have simply gone the route of him going into hiding and give him a plotline involving the Zandalari trolls. While I think this is less interesting than the other route, it is an interesting direction nonetheless, and could have led to the Zandalari plotline that we received in Battle for Azeroth, with Vol'jin as more of a prominent character, and perhaps that's why they end up allying with the Horde. Vol'jin at this point doesn't know any of the Zovaal stuff either, so I could see him say he was pushed into exile by Sylvanas, and the Fourth War started. I could see Vol'jin pushing the Zandalari to join the Horde. That being said, something else totally different than Teldrassil would have to happen, but that is a whole nother plotline. In Shadowlands, Vol'jin is set up to return as a Loa, but honestly it still doesn't feel right, as it feels like all that development he received was just thrown out the window in Legion. While I'm happy he's not forgotten, he could have been so much as Warchief of the Horde, and if the reason was the Alliance losing Varian, it does not feel good from a narrative perspective. I still get upset about this even 7 years later, but it doesn't change the love I have for Vol'jin as a character, between his Kata and Mop arc, Shadows of the Horde, and honestly, even the stuff they did do for him in Shadowlands, Vol'jin remains one of my favorite characters in Warcraft. I only hope the Darkspear continue to grow in the story and as a faction with Rokan and Zakan. They're both amazing characters and I do like them a lot. So what do you all think of this moment in the lore? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think I overreacted to it? I would love to hear in the comments below. If there's any other lore characters you'd like to see me cover, please let me know. I'm always flexible in doing these types of videos. Until next time, my friends, bye!
Vol'jin of the Dark Spear. You would turn your back on your own people?
The Horde is my people. If it be war you bring, then I stand against you.
The Horde needs its true Warchief, now more than ever.
Yes, but it was you that held the Horde together during this madness. It was you that protected our honor. From this day forward, Vol'jin, if you lead, I will follow.
I am not worthy. But I will give my all for the Horde.
I will speak to your Warchief.
I speak for the Horde.
They're coming from behind! Cover the flame!
Warchief!
Do not let the Horde die this day. Windrunner, come forward.
Warchief.
The lower spirits say death will claim me soon.
In the end, death claims us all. But the Horde will live on.
I have never trusted you. Nor would I have ever imagined, in our darkest time, that you would be the one to save us. The spirits have granted me clarity, a vision. They whisper a name. Many will not understand, but you must step out of the shadows and lead. You must be Warchief.
Vol'jin is dead. Who among you will help me avenge him?